It's Backstage Pass with Steve Ryan. And here's your host, Steve Ryan.
Hi, Steve.
Martha, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm so happy to see you.
Thank you.
You know, when we were going back and forth about putting this together, I just was kind of going back in my mind about you and the history of the great music that you've made over the years. And you and I go back way to the 80s. I was a dance club DJ in the 80s, so I'm well aware of what you've done in the past, and I'm so happy that I've got so much I want to talk to you about in so little time. So thank you again for coming in.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Is there anything that's off limits that you don't want to talk about? Because I know there's a lot that's gone on in your career, but I don't want to talk about anything you don't want to talk about.
Well, look, it's all out there. Well, most people a lot of people always ask about the CNC situation and the black
Yeah.
box situation. And I say, look, that's over 30 years, over 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I have moved so far past that, it's like,
Yeah. The stories
what
have
can I
been
tell
told.
you?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
this podcast is about songs and the people who have made them. So I do want to talk about those songs if you don't mind, but can we go back a little bit further because I would like to start with the Weather Girls if that's okay.
Okay.
Because I was a club DJ, I was well aware of Sylvester and Two Tons of Fun, and then of course the Weather Girls. I don't know exactly how the name change came about from from Two Tons to Weather Girls. Was it a commercial thing or what happened there?
Well, yeah, it was a commercial. That was part of it, but it was because of It's Raining Men.
Yeah.
When the song came out, it was very funny because people thought it was a new group out called the Weather Girls, and the fans of ours that knew us as Two Tons of Fun said, "No, that's not a new group. That's Martha and Azora." So it was a back and forth going on there for quite some time, which was hilarious to us. And what we did was we wound up changing our name, uh, switching record labels, and moving from the West Coast to the East Coast and kind of starting over again.
Yeah. You know, when I was in working in the dance club that I was working in, it was an all ages kind of club. Friday, Saturday only, lots of kids. But we next door
Right.
to us was a gay dance club, gay bar dance club.
Hmm.
We were very close with the people who ran that club. And I don't remember exactly how it went down, but the way I recall it was he had come up to me because I was spinning over in the other club, and he had said, "You have got to play this song because it is killing it on the dance floor here." And it's Raining Men, of course.
Hmm.
And
Right.
um, and so I looked at the title and I thought, well, it doesn't surprise me it's a big hit in the gay clubs, but I'll give it a listen. And
Uh-huh.
and I listened to it and I thought, well, this has some groove to it. Let's just see what happens. And man,
Right.
first time we played that, nobody knew that song. We'd never played it before. Packed the dance club. I would say not even a month later, all of a sudden when we played it, people had routines to it. They knew all the words. I mean, it was like
Uh-huh.
a Broadway show. I mean, it got so big so fast. Were
Yeah.
you
Yep. Yeah.
expecting that kind of crossover success like that?
Believe it or not, no, because I told Paul Jabara, I said, I don't think anybody's going to buy this song. you know, and he was the one who really promoted the song in the clubs, especially New York and LA, because he in fact came to one of our came to one of our shows in New York, and he had an acetate under his arm, and they had not played the song yet. So after we finished our show, we were in the dressing room, and Paul came in, and we were laughing and talking and stuff. And like I said, he had the acetate under his arm, and he went to the DJ and asked him to play the song. And so that was kind of like their introduction to the song.
Yeah.
And, the kids just jumped on that floor and they were gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it just kind of shows you that that wasn't unique. It happened everywhere.
Yeah, it was a hit in the clubs long before mainstream radio even picked up on it.
Yeah, for sure. But and then
Yeah.
I think it went to like 46 on the Hot 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Number
it's
one
now
club song.
yeah, but it's now it's a classic now.
For sure.
I'm gonna let myself get absolutely soaking wet. It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men. Every specimen. Tall, blind, dark and lean. Rough and tough and strong and mean. God bless Mother Nature. She's a single woman too. She took on the heaven, and she did what she had to do. She bought every angel and rearranged the sky so that each and every woman could find the perfect guy.
Yeah, it's a classic.
You've had something like 15 number one songs on the club chart, huh?
I have never paid attention to it.
That's what I read.
I have never paid attention to it. If that's it, hey, cool. I'm happy. I just work.
Yeah.
What can I tell you?
And you're still working, hitting the road. How do you like that still?
It's hard, but I'm used to it. I'm
Yeah.
used to it because I've been doing it for so long. And it's fun meeting new fans, people that have never seen our show before will come and say they really enjoyed the show. And for all the fans that have been around all these many years and things, they get a chance to see me
Mhm.
perform. So it's been fun.
Yeah. How did you guys hook up with Sylvester?
I auditioned for him.
Mhm.
He needed background singers, and a friend of mine called and told me that there was um, uh, a rehearsal, and it was very close to where I was working. And she said that they were auditioning background singers. So she gave me the address, and I went over there. And come to find out, it was for Sylvester. I didn't know who it was for. I was just going over there to audition.
Mhm.
And come to find out, it was for him. I had seen him probably 2 years earlier in Oakland at, I think it was Berkeley, at the Berkeley Community Theater. He was the opening act for Billy Preston,
Oh,
who I was always a huge fan of.
yeah.
And come to find out later on, him and Billy grew up together in Los Angeles, so they knew each other. Anyway, Sylvester was his opening act, and that was my first time seeing him. And I think I stood for his whole set that he did, and I'm saying to myself, "Who is this guy?" I had never heard of him.
Yeah.
I'm saying to myself, "Who is this guy?" And so I kind of put him in the back of my mind and went on and enjoyed Billy's show. And so fast forward 2 years later, I walk in there, and it was in the basement of a house. And when I went in there, I introduced myself and I told him that I had seen his show with Billy Preston 2 years earlier. And so I went on and auditioned for him. And funny enough, the guy that was playing the organ in the band at the time was somebody that I had grown up with in church. And so I was surprised to see him there. And I said, "What are you doing here?" He says, "Well, I'm just playing for him right now." And so he played for me while I auditioned. And there were two large, not too large, there were two blonde girls there that had auditioned before I came in. So they stayed while I auditioned. I finished, walked into the restroom, and came back out. And by that time, the two girls were gone. And he asked me if there were, did I know of somebody else that was as large as me and that could sing? And I said, yeah. And I brought in Azor.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's basically how it started.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
You know, he didn't have a huge crossover, effect, but he did have a few. And "Do You Want to Funk?" I think is the one most people know. And I don't think if did you guys sing on that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The his biggest one was oh Lord. Um
"You Make Me Feel Mighty Real."
Thank you. That was his big hit.
Yeah.
Although I that was never my favorite. My favorite was Dance Disco Heat.
Well, I was going to ask
Oh,
you about that.
yeah, of the two of those, that was my favorite. But they really pushed the other one,
Yeah.
Mighty Real. In fact, it's in the Library of Congress right
Yeah.
now.
You know what? I was surprised. I had been playing "Do You Want to Funk" in the club for a long time, and then all of a sudden, the Eddie Murphy movie came out, Trading Places, and it was featured in
Hmm.
in that movie. And then a lot of people all of a sudden knew who Sylvester was mainstream.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I know you hit just a little bit ago about the CNC in the Black Box stuff, but there was something that went on with that first Seduction album too, wasn't there?
Excuse me. Yes, I sang on one of their songs. Um oh Lord.
Was it "You're My One and Only True Love"?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that I think that was kind of like the beginning of
Yeah.
their careers, and they were uh putting an album out, but that was the first song
Yeah.
that they did put out. So yeah,
And that was a big hit. Did you
for them, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like tell me if this is right. When in that time late it was like 89 and then into the 90s. I had read, and tell me if this is correct, that a lot of times, and people may not know this, is when people are putting projects together, they'll do demos. And so
Right.
it sounds like maybe you were kind of that go-to person for demos for a while.
Uh, yeah, sort of. Well,
Yeah.
because I had known David Cole, and um he played in the Weather Girls band.
Okay.
So he was, in fact, the music conductor. So that's how I knew uh, uh, David. And so yeah, he would call me and ask me to come in and do demos for whoever project they were working on, or that kind of thing. So yeah, I was doing that for him.
Yeah. Did you feel Did you feel like he took advantage of you in the at times?
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say that only because I think there were other factors possibly going on. And
Okay.
I'm not going to even get into all of that stuff because, again, it is so old. He's not here anymore.
Yeah.
And I bless his spirit. But yeah, I am so over, under, around all of that.
Yeah. You're still proud of those songs though, aren't you?
Sure. It was me on there singing it.
Well,
So
yeah. Do
I
you
know
do
what I
those?
did.
Do you do those in your shows or no?
No.
You stay away from them.
I no. I'll do sweat, but other than that, no. I haven't
Really?
done any of those other songs, no. I've got too much of my newer stuff to do,
Yeah. I've got some of those in my
and
notes. I want
I've kinda been around for a little while, so there's a whole lot of stuff
to.
to sing,
Yeah.
and I can't do it in 60-minute or a 90-minute show.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, I think that, everybody and Strike It Up from the Black Box projects. I mean, you can still hear them on the radio today and they still sound just as relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strike it up, your hand is tapping on my skin. Strike it up and keep me standing on in my life. You can call that no living on my own so
I would feel like I don't know. I bet people come up to you every day and just maybe if they recognize you, they just say, "Everybody dance
No,
now." I mean, does that happen like at an airport?
no,
it's
no.
it's iconic though. Everybody knows that.
That's nice, but no, they don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, Martha. That I mean, you hear that. I was just on Facebook last night and there was some kind of it was kind of I follow a lot of positive thinking pages and stuff like that. And there was a little meme that was made with a bunch of positive words that were going, but it started with just you singing that "Everybody Dance Now," and it's just like everybody gets that, it gets their
Mhm,
attention. When that came out of your
mhm,
mouth and you
mhm.
did that, did it feel special?
It felt hard. It felt hard because it was so high.
Yeah.
give me a new day. Give me a new day.
Wow.
So I was kind of screaming it out at the time. So that's about as special as it got.
You're so humble. You're so humble. I mean, that phrase at the beginning of that song, that will go on, that will last forever. It will last
Yeah.
forever. It'll outlast all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, can we talk about in 1993 you put out the Martha Wash LP, and there's a song on there I was listening to the other day called "Carry On."
Mm-hmm.
It kind of has this gospel intro feel to it.
Yeah.
I stand alone in the eye of the storm. Pressures all around, trying to wear me down. But I hold tight to what I know is right. Still can hear the way Mama used to say, never, no, never let your spirit bend. Never, never give in to the end. I carry on. When the valley is deep, I'll be strong. With the mighty left
Have you done a gospel album?
No, I keep saying that I'm gonna work on one, but I haven't yet. And I've
Yeah.
kind of really been saying it for years, but I haven't yet.
I
Yeah.
I love that song. It's just got it's so positive, and it's like I said, it's kind of
Hmm.
got this gospel feel to it, and you know,
Yeah.
in the happiest way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You did a song also called "Give It to You," which was a huge dance club song.
Hmm.
You've never really slowed down, huh? You just keep right on getting out there and putting out new stuff and hitting the road and doing it.
Well, there was a time for about almost 15 years when I had not put out my own um, music CD. And I was kind of in a transition. I was still working, but I was in a transition. I had lost my first manager, and we had been together from the beginning of my career. So uh, even though I was still working and doing shows, I had not put out my own project. And I hooked up with a guy by the name of James Washington, and he became my manager. And so one day he said, "Okay, now what do you want to do?" I think you need to put out a CD. And so we kind of went from there and started choosing music. Everybody knows me from the dance music and
Mm.
the dance world and that whole thing, which is fine because it carried me a long way. But um, I have been the kind of person that has liked all different kinds of music. I grew up singing gospel music because that was the only music that was allowed in my house.
Mm.
But when I would listen to the radios, I was listening to a lot of rock bands and a lot of Motown.
Yeah.
And I even like the big band sound. I've
Hmm.
always liked that as a kid because I used to hear it used to watch it on TV in these black and white movies. So I've always liked different kinds of music. And I said, okay, I'm not going to go back into the dance music per se. I want to try out other genres. So the first solo album that I did under my own label, Purple Rose Records,
Hmm.
was called Something Good,
Yeah.
which was uh, rock and a little blues here and there, and uplifting music that a lot of people say, well, where's the remix? And I'm saying, well, no, I'm not doing the remix right now. Just hold on, listen to the original version that I have for you. So it's progressed from there. And did the second one I put out, Love and Conflict.
Yeah.
It was more, it was more bluesy, some more rock, and just music that I liked. That was produced by myself and a guy by the name of Sammy Basboo and Andrew Andrew Wayne. And I did that. I did that whole CD up in Montreal, Canada. Uh, the producer, all the musicians and stuff. I did that up there. So I've just pivoted
Yeah.
in a different direction that I can put out music whenever I want to. Um, Hopefully, the fans will go along on the ride with me. and just put out music that people can enjoy listening to, get something out of, a message in there for them, for whatever uh, situation possibly that they're going through, but the music speaks to them in a positive way that kind of gives them reflection,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I'm still working on some other possible genres. But the thing was, when Love and Conflict came out, it was during the pandemic, so I never
Right.
got a chance to really promote it, And then a few years later, uh, we were slowly going back into venues and artists working and things like that. So that was a time of, well, where can we work? What venues are open? And everybody's out there trying to get a gig
Right.
to work and make a living because we were all shut down for 2 years. So that really took a lot of time to kind of not get back to normal, but deal with a new way of living and uh, just being able to survive.
Yeah. I hear
You
that a
know,
lot. I hear that a lot of people, a lot of projects are just even now coming out that were the lockdown projects.
right, right,
You know,
yeah.
you
So
talk
everybody, no, I was just gonna say everybody's trying to find a gig and work again and try and survive and get their name back out there.
I was going to ask you about the Love and Conflict album you mentioned about. There's a song on there that I love. I listened to. I looped it like 5 times in a row and listened to it. It's called "Never Enough Money."
Uh-huh.
Oh man, I love that
Yep.
so much. I love
Yep.
that song.
Yep. It's kind of fitting right now, isn't it?
If all you want is more, then I'll show you the door. You've got no shame, you think you can't do wrong. There's never enough money in the world. Ching ching for you. That's what I said. Oh yeah. Listen, there's never enough honey in the world. Bang bang for you. Boom boom for you. For you. Yeah yeah for you.
If you really listen to those lyrics.
Yeah. You also, but the Something Good LP that you were talking about, there's another song on there
Yeah.
that's so inspirational. It's called "It's My Time."
Right, 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 right.
Man,
Yeah,
I love that.
that's a great song.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
that's really a great song. It's for people who sometimes don't think that they're not sure if they can make it, or they're not sure if they're on the right path, or they're just not sure about themselves, period.
Yeah.
You know.
Hmm.
And it's about, I want to say, getting out there, doing whatever it is that you want to do or that you need to do or you feel your passion is to do it, and just go out there and do it and embrace feeling like it's my time.
Keep on walking your own path. Never let anyone hold you back. No. When you feel like giving in, you get fired up and try again. It's my time. It's my time. Yes, it is. It's my time. Oh, it's my time. Yeah. I can see it clear. I'm getting close.
you know
Yeah.
that that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hmm.
you sang background on Freeway of Love with Aretha Franklin's song, huh?
Nope.
You did. I
Nope.
read that. Is that?
Nope.
Have you heard
Nope.
that? Have people asked you that before?
For years. 4 years. I wish I had,
Yeah.
but I wish I had because I would have loved to have met her. But no, that's a good friend of mine, Jeannie Tracy. Jeannie sang on a lot of her tracks over the years. I like I said, I wish I had,
Yeah.
but no, that's not me.
Yeah.
That's not me.
I was just going to ask you if you had ever met her. Martha, there are very few people who, in my opinion, and I know you're a humble person, but in my opinion, that sing at your caliber. I would say you're right up there with Aretha Franklin. I don't know anybody current. I mean, Jennifer Holliday, maybe. I mean, I just don't know anybody who's got the chops that you do currently. And man, I just appreciate what you do so much in over all the years.
Well, I listen, I appreciate that as well as the fans. I really appreciate the fans, like I said, who have stuck with me all of these years, all the way back to Sylvester. So that's a long, that's a long time. But Aretha was always a woman that I admired.
Mhm.
Always, I loved her voice. Uh, Naturally, she grew up in church. I did too. Um, and I just loved her I want to say her gospelness that she put
Yeah.
into her songs. I there was two times that I thought I would be able to meet her, and both times something happened. The last time she had played at the Apollo Theater, uh, oh God, probably 15, at least probably 15 years ago.
Mhm.
And one of her friends was a lady that I knew. They both, in fact, celebrated their birthdays together for many years. And the show was over. I was standing in the lobby waiting to see about meeting her. And something happened. I don't know if she was paying the band or whatever it is, but I could not get to see her or speak to her that night. And that was the last time that I saw her.
Wow. Man, what a talent.
Yeah,
The first lady of Ladies of Disco. Um,
yeah,
you guys, Evelyn Champagne King, who I love, and Linda Clifford,
hmm,
wow. And then later,
right,
Norma Jean Wright from Chic. Man, what
right.
first class all the way.
It was fun doing it, hard producing it, but fun doing it. And we had even other ladies that were on the show. Janice Marie Johnson from Taste of Honey,
Yeah.
Thea Austin. The last one we did was with Alternate, uh, good friends of mine, Jenny Tracy, and another good friend of mine, Charlene Moore. And we've also had Marsha Warfield
Yeah.
doing comedy. So it's been fun to do, and not well, kind of realizing it, but we've been doing this for 10 years,
Wow.
a little over 10 years now, and we'll get back into doing it again. Again, you pivot, you have to move, you have to move forward and stuff, you know. Um, so that's why I'm doing my own show, and then I'm doing the Reigning Queens. It's Reigning Queens show with Marsha Warfield. So that's going to be a hoot.
Is that your plans for 2026?
Yeah.
Martha, I'm a little over the time that I promised, and so I apologize for going a little over. I only got to about half of my notes, but man, I love meeting you. I love your music. I love what you do, all the way from the '70s to what you're doing now. And man, I'm so happy you're still doing it because I just enjoy what you do so much.
I appreciate that. I really do, and I have to say again, thanks to all thanks to all the people that have hung in there with me over the years. I really appreciate it. I didn't know I'd be doing this for if close to 50 years, if not
Yeah.
50 years. I think it's 50, almost 50 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
God. Ugh.
You
But
still
that's all
sound,
right. I'm still here. What can I tell
and
you?
you still sound great. Man, your pipes are still just as strong as ever.
Oh, it's changed a bit, but I appreciate that. I appreciate
You're
that.
so humble. Thank you, Martha, so much. I'm going to let you get to your day because I kept you long, but man, I appreciate you giving me some time.
Well, we can always do part two another time.
I'll hold you to that. I've got your email. I'll send you an email. We'll set something up here in a little while.
Very good. Very
Thank,
good.
thank you, Martha. Have
All
a good
right.
morning.
You take care. You
All right.
too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
For questions or comments, email Steve at steveryan.songoftheday@gmail.com.